Hi everyone, it's Taylor with Coastal Cowgirl Garden. I'm zone 9A, just west of Houston. I'm actually in the coastal prairie, so the Katy coastal prairie. And I thought I would walk around and give you guys kind of an informal tour of what's blooming because everything's so beautiful. I do normally have my husband film tours and it's a little bit more thorough, but I thought I would do a quick video because June has just brought on the color and every day the yard gets more and more beautiful. So of course the zinnias are looking fabulous and they're getting taller and taller. I'm still waiting on my Benares coral giants and my Oklahoma salmons to pop up. I also have some cupcake zinnias that I sowed. Can't even remember where I sowed them, so it'll be a surprise. I went ahead and put that cleome back here. It's kind of hidden right now, but they do get pretty tall, so I think it'll be just fine where it's at. This has taken on a whole new look, this area. I ripped out like majority of the cosmos. I just didn't love all of the green bushiness. You couldn't see my olive tree. You couldn't really see the other plants and they were struggling below it. Like the angelonia, which looks so beautiful right now, was barely blooming. So I took them out. I do still like cosmos and I plan on putting some more in next spring, but I'm gonna be very like selective where I put the seeds. I'm not just gonna throw them out like I did. So this is cleaned up. And I'm glad I got some perennials in that I know will fill in over time. So some perennials I put in just in the last like 2 weeks is this buddleia. And this is a buddleia that gets super large. So I thought this was a good spot for it. It only gets about like 2 feet high by 2 feet wide. So it'll fill out the space but not be overbearing. I put a blue plumbago. And I love blue plumbagos, and I should have got the larger ones when all of the nurseries had them, but I was trying to be cheap and I bought smaller plants that honestly have struggled. Luckily, Lowe's had this one, which I would say is like a mid-size. It was like right in the middle between the sizes that I was going after. And it looks good, and I think this is a great spot for it. It'll be a pretty pop of blue behind all of this white. These polar bear zinnias, if you remember last time, they were much smaller plants and the blooms were really small. The other ones in the back are like still unfolding, but look at this one. Oh my gosh. I've been waiting to cut it and if you feel the stem and it's hard, they're ready to go. So I'm gonna come out here and cut this one. Look how large it is under my hand and all of the layers. It is a beautiful zinnia. If you're looking for a white zinnia that honestly, some of them, not all of them, but some of the flowers do have a dahlia look, then I recommend the polar bear zinnia. And I got those seeds from Baker's heirloom seeds, and I've grown some other things with them and they've all germinated and done well, so I recommend them. I have a coneflower that I put here as well, and I would like to get maybe 2 more coneflowers, but that one was $10, and I know that some of my that was at Lowe's. I know some of my local nurseries have smaller ones that are a little bit cheaper, so I'm gonna wait, go look there and fill in this spot with them. I put another angelonia here, and who knew I had a foxglove seedling growing right there. You wouldn't have been able to tell because of all the mass of cosmos and craziness. I'm finding so many seedlings and even a dahlia tuber that's not doing great because of the cosmos. They just like swallowed up that spot. Okay, I ended up putting a Mystic Spires salvia right here, like the one I have over on this side, which you can't see it right now behind the lime tree. I love it. I will definitely be getting more to put in the back side right here because a lot of these plants are getting moved next year. They're all shade plants, and my neighbor trimmed their tree last year right after I had planted these. And so this is more like part sun and not actually a shade garden anymore. And honestly, by next month, the hosta and the Japanese Aurelia will be burnt. So I'm gonna move those over to a proper shade garden area and get some more Mystic Spires. And I know my garden kind of looks piecey right now. If you're new here, I started this garden when I was pregnant, like spring of 2022. And I didn't do very much. I only did like a partial bit of it because we had a hot tub where my patio sits now. And it just didn't, it blocked the whole view. So I was like, I'm not even gonna landscape behind it because you couldn't see it. But then I realized I didn't want the hot tub, I'd rather have a garden. And here we are. I got rid of it and I ended up expanding the little skinny bed I had and putting all of this in. So my garden is about, let's see, started it in late February. So about 4 months old almost. So a very young garden. The only things that have been here for a while are the elephant ears. They've been here since last year. The hosta has been here since last year. The Japanese Aurelia, like any of those shade plants, they were here last year. And most of them actually died in the heat last year, so I didn't think they were gonna come back. And after the freeze, I just thought everything was a goner, and then things started popping up, so it kind of changed my plans for what I was gonna do back there, because I wanted taller stuff. But it's okay, because I'm growing some healthy plants, and they'll do great when I move them next year. My beautiful Coleus settlement rose. I love this rose. It's just wild looking and it's so pretty and it's a constant bloomer. The only complaint I have is that it does get black spot more than any of my other roses. And as you'll see, I'll show you soon, I have David Austin roses now. I have the Francis Milan rose. I'm not even sure what that is. I think that's like a hybrid tea. But anyways, those don't really struggle with black spot, at least not yet. And to remind you, I'm in Houston. But this one, that's supposed to be like a cultivar of a native rose, struggles with it. So every other day I come out and I clean it up and it's doing okay. It's definitely gotten larger, much larger since I planted it. Here's that tutti frutti agastache that I had in a pot right there. It's tiny, but I'm taking a lot of inspiration from Joe's Texas Garden, and her agastache and her cleomes get very large, so I'm just being patient. Lilies have still not bloomed. I'm kind of sad about it. This one has a ton of bloom heads. Let's see. And this one lost a couple, so I don't know what would be causing that. I definitely picked up the watering in this area, so hopefully that helps. And then this is the balloon flower I got at Lowe's the other day. And it's looks like some insect damage. It's still so pretty. And I think I'm gonna go back this weekend and get a few more and fill out this area. So I tend to get a lot of one-off things, which looks really piecey right now, but it's because I'm testing them out in my garden. I've done it before where I invested in several of one plant because I wanted the full look and I wanted 3 of everything. And some things didn't work out in my garden, so I ended up wasting a lot of money. Whereas if I buy one small plant of something and I test it out, then I can see if I want to plant more next year. And I have plenty of space to add more plants in. The planter back there with the Coleus and the bird of paradise and the autumn fern is one of my favorite things. I love looking out here and seeing that. And the Coleus is like kind of swallowing the bird of paradise, so I might need to come trim it because I do want the bird of paradise to bloom. But I mean, just since I planted it about a month and a half ago, it's gained a foot of height basically. One thing that's not doing great is my orange rocket barberry over here. This one you can see is doing amazing. And this one gets even less sun, which I heard is better in our climate, and more water. So I don't know, but since I picked up my watering schedule and it's been raining here, it's looking better. So I think I might have saved it. All of these are foxglove seedlings. So that means next year I will have proper foxgloves. They're a little full right now. I do go in and thin them every once in a while. I'm kind of letting, at this point, like the strong survive and see what happens. I do have a short of this Vanessa Bell David Austin rose right here. If you want to go watch it, it doesn't look like much of anything right now, but it had a beautiful bloom on it. And I just got this, and it has a few buds on it. So, oh wow. I'll definitely make sure to do my tour when that's blooming. But I just got this barely a month ago and put it in the ground, and it had mildew and black spots all over it. So it's doing much better now. And then this is what I really want to show you guys. This is my Double Delight rose. Oh my gosh. It is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It is like neon too. I look out the window of my house and I see it and just like catches my eye immediately. It is my favorite thing in the garden. I didn't think I really liked super bright pink roses anymore. I thought I was moving on to the nudes and the creams, and I do love those, but this has made me reconsider, and I definitely am going to add more of these to the garden because they are such an eye catcher. They also smell wonderful. They have the truest rose scent. So I would love to fill in this area, any blank spots I have, honestly, over here and over here with that rose. Just create this sensual scent experience, and it seems like it'd be a great cut flower. I didn't want to cut them off because I loved looking out here and seeing it. But next round of blooms, I think I'm going to cut myself a bouquet because they're great long stemmed full roses. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. Oh my gosh. And this isn't even the prettiest they've been. It rained and thunderstorms, so they've kind of got beaten down. And the center has gotten more pink and more red, like magenta, over the last couple days. So it starts out very pale yellow, and the edges are bright pink, and then over time, it's like the whole rose turns, and it's like a chameleon. It's so fun to see what it looks like every day. Let's see what else. There's like really not much to top that. Oh my gosh. My Rose of Sharon has blooms on it. They're not open, but it blooms. I promise you guys. This one was open today. Let's see if I can pry it open for you guys. It's done, but you can see it has this like plummy raspberry inside with this light lilac purple. I love it. As you can see, it had several blooms the last couple days. It's nearly impossible to film a tour where everything's blooming, but I do my best. Here's some cosmos. I moved from the Cosmo area, and this is what made me decide that next year I'm gonna plant them a little bit more separately, because you can just notice the blooms, and they're much more beautiful like this than they are in just a huge clump. If you don't have the space. If you have the space, go for it, but I don't have a huge yard or garden. So Zinnias being perfect. I mean, they're the perfect flower, annual flower and cut flower, and I may have bought like 10 different kinds over the last week to add to the garden. Some polar bear zinnias. They're a little bit behind the others. And then this, it's not blooming right now, but when it's sunny, it has the most beautiful periwinkle blue blooms. And I bought more of that plant at Lowe's. It's called an evolvus, but basically it's a dwarf morning glory, which makes a lot of sense because it really does fill in an area really quickly. I love it. I don't get little other shoots of it anywhere else though, so I don't think it spreads, but it comes back from the freeze and it is really pretty when it's sunny outside. I'm gonna turn back this lantana. It's insane. Another thing, if you have the space and you need to fill in a big area, get some lantana. This stuff goes crazy. And I'm gonna keep it, but it's gonna get a haircut. So that's the view from right here. Oh my gosh, that rose back there, I can't. It's so pretty. Get a little view over on this side. And then I'll show you guys, I'll end with my watermelons. I won't show you the front today. These are my watermelons. It's kind of funky shaped, but look at that little baby. Something's trying to eat it. I got this one and this one. So I'm trying out this trick where I don't let them run on the ground, and I'm growing them on this to save space. And if it does well, next year I might get more of these grow bags. I just like that it's not permanent and I don't have to make another bed to do it. And even watermelons who love a lot of water are doing great right here. even when I forget to water them. So thanks guys for watching, and a more like official tour will be coming out probably in the next week or two. Thanks everyone.